Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss a new topic, human circulatory system. In our last class we have discussed about the cell and organs which are participates in human circulatory system. These were lymph, blood and blood vessels. Today we will discuss about the heart, the main function and structure of heart. What is the main function of our heart? The main function of our heart is to receive blood and to pump it and then circulate it throughout the body. Heart has 4 chambers. These two chambers. These are auricle, right auricle and left auricle. These are to collect the blood. And this right ventricle and left ventricle. This is to pump the blood. Now what happened? This is for this right auricle and right ventricle is for deoxygenated blood. They deal with deoxygenated blood, and left auricle and left ventricle deal with oxygenated blood. Our blood comes through superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Superior vena cava, the superior part of the blood enters or comes from the superior part of the body, like head region and above region from our heart. And inferior vena cava, the lower region from our heart. The blood collect from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava and enter into the right auricle. Here right auricle is there. Then the right auricle is fully filled with blood. Here blood is filled from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Now when blood is filled, it will go through a passage, it will find for a passage. Here a tricuspid valve is present. It is I'm talking about deoxygenated blood, the blood which is not carrying oxygen. So that deoxygenated blood will enter into the right auricle filled up with blood. Then it will enter into the right ventricle. Here a tricuspid valve is present. When the pressure generates, the tricuspid valve open. It is open in unidirectional way. Why? It can open only in unidirectional way to stop or to minimize the backward flow of blood. That's why it is unidirectional. Then it will open and the blood will enter into the right ventricle. In right ventricle, electric impulses will generate. That I will discuss about the further classes, how electrical impulses generate and what happens after it. Electrical impulses will generate and the right ventricle start pumping. When the right ventricle start pumping, a pressure generate and again the blood wants to flow or blood wants a passage to flow. Which passage? This passage is closed because after entering from the auricle, when the blood enter from the auricle to the ventricle, this valve will close. Then where the blood will go? Yes, the blood will go into the pulmonary artery. The name pulmonary means here lung is present. Into the lung. Through the pulmonary artery, it will enter into the lung. This deoxygenated blood will enter from the right auricle through the tricuspid valve. It will enter into the right ventricle, and when pressure generate, when right ventricle pump, the blood will enter through the pulmonary artery. The deoxygenated blood enter through the pulmonary artery into the lung. Here millions of alveoli are present. Gases exchange takes place, and what happened? The deoxygenated blood will convert it into oxygenated blood. Pulmonary artery. Here again you will ask the question, why artery to only carrying oxygenated blood? You are saying deoxygenated blood. This pulmonary artery and this pulmonary vein are the exceptions. This pulmonary artery is only artery which carries deoxygenated blood, and this pulmonary vein is only vein which carries oxygenated blood. Here exchange of gases takes place, the blood will get oxygenated. Only lung is our organ, is the only organ which collects deoxygenated blood and gives oxygenated blood, while all the organs collect oxygenated blood and release deoxygenated blood. Here gases exchanges takes place and the blood will enter into the oxygenated blood. Here blood converted into oxygenated. The oxygenated blood will enter into the pulmonary vein. Through the pulmonary vein, again the blood will enter into left auricle. Now what happened? In left auricle, the left auricle will filled up with the blood oxygenated blood. Now again it has to enter into the left ventricle. Here it collection of blood, here pumping of blood. Blood enter into the left ventricle through the bicuspid valve. Again this bicuspid valve is unidirectional, open into one direction. Then blood enter into left ventricle through the bicuspid valve, and after entering, the bicuspid valve will close. Then here again electrical impulses will generate. Then blood has to, again pressure will generate after electrical impulses will generate. The pressure will generate. Where blood has to go? Blood will again found a way to pass out. Again the blood will pass out through this direction into the aorta. Aorta, the largest artery. It is the largest artery of our circulatory system. Through the aorta, the blood will circulate throughout our body. The oxygenated blood will circulate throughout our body. So this is the main function. It's very simple. Just I'm taking this class, I'm taking for class 10th. Deoxygenated blood will enter through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava from the right auricle into the right ventricle. Here also a valve is present. The valve will open. This valve will open in upper direction. When the pressure generate, here the electrical impulses will generate the pressure, and the blood will enter into the deoxygenated blood will enter into the pulmonary artery. Through the pulmonary artery, it will enter into the lung. Here in the lung, the gases exchanges takes place. When the gases exchange takes place, the blood will get oxygenated. The oxygenated blood will again enter into the pulmonary vein. From the pulmonary vein, it will enter into the left auricle. From the left auricle, again a bicuspid valve is here. When it is filled with blood, the bicuspid valve will open. The bicuspid valve regulate the entrance of blood into the left ventricle. In the left ventricle, when oxygenated blood enter, again the electrical impulses will generate. The blood will here the pressure will also generate, and the blood want a way to flow. Where it will flow? Again it will flow into the aorta, and through the aorta the whole blood will circulate in our body. So this cycle goes on, and this is why this is known as double circulation. Why double circulation? Here the deoxygenated blood is circulating, and here the oxygenated blood circulating. Two kinds of circulation is happening in a single way. That's why this is known as double circulation of blood. So this is very simple. We have 4-chambered heart. The fishes in the organism which are lower, the lower organism have 2 or 3 chamber blood, and their mixing of blood can be happen. But in mammals and birds, 4-chambered heart is present, and no mixing of blood happen. Only the deoxygenated blood enter and get converted into the oxygenated blood and then pass throughout our body. So this is very simple. Go through this and keep learning. Thank you.